Leroy just came into the studio this morning. Good morning, Leroy.
I always show up.
I know, you're always on time. And that's one of the things, I imagine that you're like most, that, or at least for you, if you know you have to be somewhere at 9 o'clock, you make sure you're there before 9 o'clock.
I'm always on time.
If at all possible.
If this was a deal 400 miles away, I'd be here 10 hours early.
That's right, just to make sure.
To make sure. But I'm only 15 or 14 miles from you,
yeah.
So I got here 5 minutes early.
So that makes a little difference there.
Yeah.
A little rain this morning.
Depends on what you got to do.
That's right, that's right. The main reason you're here with us this morning, of course, is that you and your band will perform as guest artists of the Sedalia Symphony at the Heckart Performing Arts Center in Sedalia, coming up October 17th. Those tickets are available online at SedaliaSymphonyOrchestra.com or the Liberty Center, or you can get them at the door. That concert starts at 7:30. And you said the last time you probably did this was with Abe Rosenthal, and it was back when you said 1812 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's been a while since Abe has been doing that. But,
yes, it is.
But looking forward to you being out there. I know a lot of folks from around the area that has grown up listening to your music and just knowing you personally.
Well, I grew up around here. The first 10 years of my life was on a Sedalia route, rural route. I never did live in town, and I started out my educational process in one-room country schools, Mosby School, which is still there as a residence, and then stayed and helped my dad for a year, and then went to the University of Missouri. So I was gone for about 35 years with Red Foley in Springfield, Missouri, and then went to the Graduate Opera in Nashville. I was down there for 27 years. And then we moved our whole operation from there to here. Didn't change anything except we leave from a different place.
Now you've been back in the area for a number of years now.
Yeah, we've been back up here for a while.
Quite a while.
Well, both my parents passed away, and the farm was going to be sold, and we didn't like that to happen. So we bought 1,000 acres of it.
All right.
And moved back up here.
Okay, well, good to have you back in the area. I see that you're keeping busy as always. You've got concert dates coming up. Arlington, Texas, Indiana, Iowa, Clinton, Iowa. You've got a lot of different artists that you're going to be with too, and some of the ones that were a lot bigger names, I guess I could say, back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
The senior citizens, people 55 and over.
I got my hand up there.
Well, mine too. I've got a lot more birthdays behind me than I have ahead of me. But people in that demographics are the most underserved people for entertainment in the United States. Classic country.
Yes.
And so Gladys, the shows you're talking about, those package shows, come out of our office. It's Gladys's brainchild. She came up with it, and Country Gold Tour package, by definition, is a Country Gold classic music package made up of people that have had million-seller records, or a lot of top tens, or massive television exposure. Once in a while, somebody that's just so good you can't ignore them. Gladys has taken on a few young acts, not very many, just a very few, and put on the show that are really, really good and deserve to be on that stage. So that's what we do. And those shows you mentioned are, most of those are package shows. We just came back from Pennsylvania, where we had a Performing Arts Center just about full, a 1,600 seat deal. We play the Florida State Fair 2 days in a row every year. We play the Old Thrashers reunion in Iowa every year. We play the Iowa State Fair every year, and then occasional dates all over the country.
And I see some of the artists that you have on there, some that people will recognize. Jimmy Fortune, we were just talking about him. He used to be, of course, with the Statler Brothers. Yeah, he used to be with the Statler Brothers, and you were talking about that, how when Jimmy Fortune got away from the Statler Brothers, that Gladys was the one, and you all were actually the ones that got him out and booking him to where he could make his way as a solo artist.
We helped him. We took him on. The Statlers did not allow him to become a star. He was just part of the wallpaper. And but he did a great job in his spot as the tenor singer, but he never had to say anything or do anything. And so Gladys and I, we spent our own money to get him out and get him publicized and get people to know who he was, put him on our shows, the Country Gold shows. And he gradually grew into it. Now nobody else can follow him. When he does a show, the show is over.
If you've never heard him before, you can go to YouTube. A lot of folks probably still have some of the old Statler Brother albums, the 8-track tapes, the cassettes. We can go back CDs, but very, very Great voice with him.
Yes.
Steve and Rudy Gatlin of the Gatlin Brothers. You've got T. Graham Brown along with Claude Gray. Wasn't it Claude that did Wolverton Mountain? I think.
No, that was Claude King.
Claude King, okay. It was Claude.
But Claude Gray is one of the great voices of country music. He had, I'll have another cup of coffee and I'll
Okay,
go.
yep.
He had a big hit on Family Bible.
Okay.
I never loved the one that I wanted. Never had the one that I wanted. Never wanted the one that I had.
Okay.
And one of the great voices. That show's coming up in Texas.
Okay, that's coming up in Arlington on the 22nd.
Yeah.
So once again, you're going to be at the Sedalia Symphony, the Heckart Performing Arts Center on Monday, October 17th. That's right around the corner.
Yeah.
I saw something on here. We got kind of a bio sheet on you of different things that you've done. Number one, your song "Walk On By" that was out in 1961, if that serves me right, has been chosen by Billboard magazine as the biggest country music single in recorded history.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those things. It was a total surprise to me, and it wasn't one of those things where people voted on anything. It was nothing political about it.
Okay.
They were bean counters. They checked the records and the charts and the sales, and I guess based on the number of plays and the number of sales and the number of weeks in the charts, they named it the biggest country single of all time.
Wow, wow. That's just. Do you kind of just keep thinking?
I'm still in wonderment. Gladys called me the night I was up in South Dakota at the time at a casino, and I was up there several days. Phone rang at 7 o'clock in the morning. You don't call an entertainer at 7 o'clock in the morning
Right.
if you're working a casino until 2 in the morning.
Right, right.
And so, but the phone rang and she said, "I don't think you'll be upset that I'm waking you up at 7 o'clock in the morning." I said, "What's going on?" I thought maybe the house was on fire or something.
Right.
And she said, "What would you think is the biggest country single of all time, based on the records of Billboard magazine?" I said, "I don't know, something by Eddie Arnold, or maybe Elton Brett, or maybe Hank Snow." She said, "No, Walk On By LVD." And I couldn't talk for a while.
Well, I bet.
And I'm still wondering about it.
Yeah.
But as time goes on, I realize that every local band in